4 Sundays a month. But she's doing pretty good, I think. And the daughter that was with her was the one that lost her husband last summer. Yeah.
Oh.
Bob, you asked me a question and I never got to answer it. I'm sorry.
That
About the
was
fall.
a short-term question, and so it's gone from my memory.
No,
If
you
it's
asked me
something that
about-
happened at school, I'll remember it explicitly, but if it
You were asking,
The question was, did she fall before we got together at Purdue?
oh yeah, thank you, Pete.
No, she did not. No, she fell. I'm looking here.
There's not-
She fell on the 17th of November,
November.
Oh,
and she was was coming home from physical therapy, and I was going to get her a walker for her, and I told her to wait, and she got out of the car anyway, and fell in the garage and hit her head on the steps and broke her. She had a brain bleed, broke her shoulder, actually fractured a couple of things in her neck, broke her arm, or radius or ulna, and bleeding. And we couldn't lift her. We had to call 911. The rescue squad had to come, and they took her to the hospital, and then her heart her heart rate was not right, even though she had a pacemaker. So they had to adjust the pacemaker, and yeah, I mean, it was just one thing after another. She just not want to eat anything. She didn't want to drink anything. She just was kind of just shut down. And you're not going to heal if you don't eat and drink the right things. And it was then she had a urinary tract infection, and she became incoherent because of the medicine they give you. It has a tendency to cause that. And it was just really sad, I gotta say. And
yep.
Yeah, I was so sad that it ended the way it did, but in a way it was a blessing for her. And hopefully she's in peace now.
I'm so sorry to hear that, because you and Georgia, neither one deserved that.
Well, thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
She was a lovely lady.
Yeah, I would agree. She always loved all of the Pledge brothers and the brothers at the house. I mean, she was very proud of Sigma Chi, and when the boys became Sig, she was very, very happy about that as well. And anyway, I'll be coming to Florida probably right after the holidays, and I'll be down there this spring, and maybe I'll get to see you guys. Just me and the dog Charlie. We're going to drive down, and we'll be there in January, February, March, April. I'm planning to sell our place in the April timeframe. Their kids are going to come and take the stuff out of the house that they want, and then the rest will donate to charity, and that'll pretty much end our Florida, our 35 years at Ponte Vedra, which is a lot of fun. We had a great time, but anyway, I'm hoping to see y'all one way or another while we're down there.
good.
Those of you that are there, Pusey and or Bob and Bernie, maybe. Although Naples is a long drive, but
Well, you and Charlie are welcome to stop here on your way down, and we can drive down together.
Well, that sounds like a winner.
Charlie and Susie can stay together while we're gone.
That would be great. That would really be good. Yeah. No, is this what you mean for the Sigma Chi thing in February?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
February 8th.
Yeah. That would be right now. That sounds like a great idea. I was wondering what I was going to do with Charlie, but now we've got an answer. So that's good.
Yeah. Look who's joining us.
Maybe.
He's working on it.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know whose iPad it is.
Especially it's number 2.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Ah, there he is.
There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About
They
time
finally
he-
let you in, huh?
His nap's over.
Finally got in.
Hey, I got an email from the chapter and it talked about all the reunions this year and they didn't mention our reunion.
One came out today that did. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're talking about our reunion in September. No,
Yeah.
the last one had a full article on our reunion.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I don't remember that, but there were a lot of things.
It had our picture and
Okay.
we were standing in front of the 202 Littleton.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought, well, I'm going to withhold my check then if that's the way it's going to be.
No, we got a much better spread than anybody,
Oh, that's good. Okay. We deserved it, right?
and we deserved it.
Right.
We got seniority.
Yeah, that we
How do you
did.
turn the volume up on this?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Kurt.
Yeah.
George is coming down in January. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, I'm trying to turn the volume up here.
George is coming down from Tallahassee or from Puerto Rico. Where Punta Gorda? Where is it?
Well, how about that?
Ponte Vedra.
Ponte Vedra. And stopping by to pick up Pusey, but maybe you can we can work it out that you can join Dolores and Pusey and come down to the February 8th luncheon.
I'd like to see George. I don't think I can
Care
drive.
about Pusey.
You don't have to drive. You can
Sounds
ride
like
with
you
George
better
and
shut up.
Charlie. Charlie's his dog.
I'll drive if you want to take the chance, Kurt.
We're really
You're gonna
all
come
gonna be
down,
pretty
George?
cozy in that 911, aren't we?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not bringing the 911 is staying home. I'm selling the 911. I can get in it anymore, but I can't get out of it anymore. So it's going to go.
Take your lunch with you.
What's that?
Take your lunch with you when you get
There
in.
you go. Either that or get a sky hook.
Yep.
John, what's happening in the great Southwest?
All's well.
There we go.
You talking to me?
Yep. I asked how everything was in the great Southwest.
Well, things are good. A little warmer than, I mean, we're having a cool spell right now. It's only 60 degrees.
Wow.
Nighttime's getting down in the 40s, low 30s, but life continues on. We're doing well. I don't know if you can see it up in my right forehead here, but I
Yeah.
had a melanoma removed. And what you see are the stitch tracks that the plastic surgeon took. He was able to, I guess he did 3 different slices and then pulled the scalp together to cover. So he didn't have to do a graft of any kind.
Wow.
So, the sun we've enjoyed all these 70 or 80 years kind of catches up sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the reason they give farmers caps.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Good reason. No, everything's good down here. We're enjoying life with our neighbors. We had a good Thanksgiving with about a dozen of us, and we're going to spend New Year's Eve down in southern New Mexico, little town of Columbus, which is 2 miles from the border, across from Palomas, Mexico, because a good friend of ours from Gold Hill is coming down. He's got a rig on a piece of property down there, so we're going to spend a quiet New Year's Eve down on the southern bounds of New Mexico.
You better pack.
How many miles is that from you, John?
That's only about a 4-hour drive.
Okay.
Not, I don't know, maybe not even that.
That's where the war started, wasn't it? Columbus, New Mexico. The Mexicans came across or
Sure,
they moved across something. I don't remember way back in the
You're
Don't-
absolutely right, George. That's good memory. It was in 1916, the Pancho Villa's troops. There's a really nice campground that has a nice museum in it that gives you a lot of history of that little incident. That was the last time a foreign nation invaded the United States.
Did you say 1916?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Pancho Villas sent his troops over. According to the museum, he personally didn't come, but they came over, and there's a lot of there was a army base down there, and so there was a lot of back and forth thing. And I can't remember how many people were killed, not very many. But remember Blackjack Pershing, the general, he was the head man down at that army base. So he gathered up a bunch of his troops and chased the Pancho Villa troops and looking for Pancho Villa himself into Mexico, but they never found him. So they came back home. But there's a great little museum there. That is the location where a Jenny, I think it's called a C6, if I remember correctly, airplane, first time it was ever used for surveillance in an armed conflict.
Hmm.
So they got a nice model of it down there.
Cool. All right.
So it's in an interesting area historically.
Yeah. Nice.
It's 54 in Indiana, John, so you're not too far off our weather.
Oh, Pete, would you repeat that?
Yeah, I said it's 54 here in Indiana for
Oh,
degrees.
it is 54.
Yeah, yeah, so
That's pretty good.
this is one of our warmer days.
Yeah.
We have,
76.
we have a
Florida.
dusting of snow here, but it's not that cold. It's in the 30s.
Time for you to get out of there.
George, when you coming down to Florida?
Right around 1st of January, Kurt, something like that, after the holidays.
Okay. And you're gonna come down with somebody, or you're driving down by yourself?
I'm Charlie, my little puppy, and me.
Okay.
And I probably what I'm gonna do. You know, we always stopped, and halfway was Beckley, West Virginia, but then to go on to Charlotte or to Winston-Salem, where the boys are, is another hour and a half. So I don't know if I'll stay in Beckley and then go on. But the boys want me to stay in Carolina for a few days with each of them, and I will do that as well. So and then make my way down to Ponte Vedra. Ponte Vedra is about 5 hours from Charlotte or Winston-Salem. It's not a bad drive. So anyway, that's the plan so far anyway.
Good.
But I look forward to seeing you guys, and
Maybe I can drive and bring Sandy up to Ponte Vedra if I can talk her into doing it.
well, that would be nice. We could go to the club for lunch or dinner or whatever, you know. And how far is it, Kurt? You've made that trip many times, haven't you?
Yeah, probably about 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. Well, that would be wonderful. I'd love to see you and Sandy. All right.
Arnie, what's happening in your life? You've been pretty quiet today.
Well, I totaled Mary's car October 26th. Did I tell you guys about that?
You told
No.
me. You told me about it.
Let me get a picture of it up here. Yeah, if I can. Just a second. I don't know how this is going to work.
Well, while you're farting around with that, John, did you have Mohs surgery on your head?
Yeah, it's the I've had a number of Mohs on my face, and fortunately, in all cases, they only had to do a single layer. We didn't have to go scrounging any deeper. So the Mohs surgeon is highly respected around here. Interesting guy. Used to be a race car driver, and we were talking about the F1, the Formula One race that was held in Las Vegas. And he said, yeah, I'd been invited to go over there with some buddies and friends. I said, you ever driven a Formula One? He said, no, drove Formula 3. That wasn't quite as high powered, only go about 170 or 80. He is a very interesting guy, very talkative and very well respected down here. So he did the surgery on a Monday, and then I went to a plastic surgeon, same one that did this side of my head. It's almost the same. And he sewed it up on that Friday. So that's a couple of weeks ago now.
This is all in Tucson?
Yeah, they've got really, well, there are so many snowbirds and so many retired people down here that there's a really good network of medical facilities.
That's good. All right.
Whoops. Oh, there it
Okay.
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ, Bernie.
Oh, is that a telephone pole?
No, I ran into a brick wall.
Was Mary pissed?
Well, I don't know if you remember from 2016, we had a flash flood here in Winnetka. And I was driving her car and ran into this where the water was up to the fire hydrant. And I, instead of keep going, I stopped and the water was on top of the exhaust pipe and killed the engine and all the electronics, are at the bottom of the car. So it totaled the car. So this car replaced it in 2016. And I'll tell you, it was scary. I was at a scripture study group meeting over at our church on Thursday morning, 5 weeks ago this morning. And when it was over, I got in the car and I started out. I was parked in the driveway heading out towards the street. And it was like the accelerator stuck to the floorboard. And I was pumping on what I thought were the brakes. And at any rate, by the time I hit I went across the sidewalk, across Linden Street, across the other sidewalk, up through the driveway, and into the corner, a brick wall corner by the house's garage. Fortunately, it hit on the passenger side, or I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today, probably. And what I'm most grateful for is that I didn't hit any. It's right by a school and a church, so I'm most grateful I didn't kill somebody.
The airbags below?
Yep.
They
They took me to ER, and all I have, they took SCAT scan and that. I just had a broken right rib, and I never had any pain or discomfort from the rib. Now, where I hit my, the airbag, even with the airbag, I still hit the steering wheel with my chest, and that was sore for about 4 weeks. But anyway, it was. I haven't been behind the wheel of a car since, and I don't know when I will get behind the wheel of a car. It really messed up my brain.
You think about buying a tank?
Buying a tank?
Tank.
A lot of people got Hummers and they're really dangerous now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's one of the things.
Who's driving you around, Bernie? Mary?
Mary, and then Uber.
Oh my gosh.
I was on Uber 3 times in the last 2 days.
Oh my God.
One of my drivers was Russian. He didn't speak very much English. So when I got out of the car, I said "Das Vidanya," which I only know 3 words in Russian: "Das Vidanya" and "Niet." So I said "Das Vidanya." He got a big smile on his face. So we're not going to replace the car. Pardon?
What's that mean? I'm not gonna pay you?
"Das Vidanya" means goodbye. That's "Do widzenia" is Polish for goodbye. "Das Vidanya" is Russian for goodbye. Yeah.
Well, we're very pleased that you're still with us, Brother Ben.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What make of car was it?
It was a 2016 Lexus 460. And if you'll notice, 15 years ago, they started to design them so that they would crunch. If this had happened 15 years ago and the car didn't crunch like that, why, probably would have been fatal.
Yeah, it'd been shock.
So as I think you know from our last call, or that my niece's husband, Eric Morgan, the commandant, Marine Corps commandant, he had a cardiac arrest on the end of October. And he was fortunate because there was a guy standing right there that knew how to do CPR. So he was up walking around within 3 days, and he came home from the hospital before Thanksgiving. So he's home now and making a very, very good recovery.
Will he continue as commandant?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
If
that's,
if baseball players can do it, or football players, the commandants can do it.
absolutely.
Uh,
Well, he was shot in Baghdad when he was a captain. And he was interviewed on one of the TV channels afterwards, and they asked him about that. He said he didn't go anywhere. He kept fighting for 30 minutes. He said, "We're trained to reach for our weapon, not for our wound." So he went 30 minutes before he got any treatment. Then he went to the hospital and he checked himself out of the hospital, went back on duty.
Where was he? Where was he hit?
In the knee.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Marines are tough.
How are your knees doing, Bernie?
Pardon me?
How are your knees doing?
My
Talking
knees,
about-
I've got replacements on both knees. They're doing fine. Yeah.
No problems with the accident?
Interesting. It affected my walking, and my walking is just now getting back to near normal. And it was just, very minimum progress every day. But yeah, it did affect my walking. And I think that's because when I jammed into the wall, my legs had to take a shock of some kind.
Any guesses at how fast you were going when you hit?
Probably 30 miles an hour. I mean, it was quite a distance from where I started out to when I hit and the accelerator was down to the floor.
At least that.
And there's something, I haven't checked it out yet, but there's something my son told me about last night called pedal confusion that affects older people. You read all the time about these older people usually who are going into storefronts, and they're parked in front of the store, and they did what I did, and they go in and crack. We have a Paneros in Wilmette where they had 3 of these incidents in the last year. Well, you just read about up in Niagara Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that had to be something similar. And he went so far, they predict he was going around 100 miles an hour when he hit that bridge.
yeah.
So anyway, pedal confusion, it's called.
When you first start your car, when it's cooler outside, your engine runs a lot faster too.
Yeah,
Take your foot off the brake after you put it in gear, and I had that problem a couple of times. In fact, I plowed into the front of our garage years ago. Not too many years ago, 10 years ago.
yeah.
But I'm just careful to get my heel, but so I can pivot my foot from the accelerator to the brake.
Yeah, I think
don't
this
hit
would
them
be a
both.
lesson for everybody to be careful when you're driving with your footwork.
Do you use your left foot for the brake, or do you use the right foot for the accelerator and brake?
Right foot for both.
Yeah, I do too.
I have not used right foot for the brake for years and years, ever since automatics, I guess.
Well, that's smart. That's
I
smart.
don't know if it's smart, but
I never converted from my clutch days. Yeah.
What's new with the honorary sweetheart of Sigma Chi?
Well, the dinner will be next. The dinner will be next spring.
Oh,
Uh,
in spring.
They're having the blue formal this weekend.
Oh, wow.
First time in about 4 or 5 years. They didn't
Holy
have it
moly.
with COVID.
It'd be fun to be there just to see the kids today and what kind of attire they wear and what the event is like, and what kind of dancing do they do, and what kind of music do they have.
The decorations too. You remember? I mean, when we had it,
Oh.
I mean, it was absolutely astonishing. And
Yeah.
it helped contribute to my academic.
A lot of trees
excellence.
hanging up.
Don't I remember that we one time had a creek running through the Great Hall?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that one while we were there, was it?
Yes, it certainly was. That bridge was compliments of the Thetas at DePaul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were even good enough to take it back to them, which is odd. I don't know why I did that, but
yeah,
I do remember it now that you mentioned it. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be at Purdue tomorrow night for a agriculture dean's banquet, and then I'll be there Tuesday for a farm study group I'm in.
Wow.
Still get over there once in a while.
The thing I remember that stuck out to me more than anything else about the Blue Formal was Sonny Walker. And the fact that he brought as his sweetheart hooker from Logansport. And I remember everybody, all the guys, especially Batman,
Jim Batman, he was furious.
were so incensed that in an insult to their pinwheel. It wasn't funny at the time, but it's hysterical when you think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thing I always remember about Sonny Walker, when you went to wake him up when you were a pledge, one eye was always open because he'd been in a car wreck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Younger, and you didn't know if he was awake or asleep, and laying there looking at you.
I got the nicest note from Ruth Ann, when she heard about Georgia, and I'm glad that she's doing well out there. I know Hammy talks to her all the time. Where is he today, by the way? Is he traveling or?
Probably playing croquet.
Probably. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I notified Ruth and Marjorie Warwick.
Oh, you talked to
How's
Ruth.
Marjorie
Okay.
doing?
She's all right. She's
Good.
busy all the time.
Good.
Where she live?
She lives on the up north of Michigan Town. That doesn't tell you anything. She lives in Clinton County, but it's about 15 miles from here.
I know where that is, George. Pete.
We do, yes.
Yes.
We have an interesting situation in Lebanon, Indiana, which is just south of me, and they decided to buy all this farmland to put into an industrial park, high-priced industrial park, and they paid the state bought all the land. I don't know how many thousand acres they bought, but they don't have any water. So they started going to other counties to buy land to drill wells on, and they got them stopped. And now they're in the process of trying to pump water from from Lafayette to Boone County, which is through 30-inch tubes. I don't know how many million gallons a day they need if this park is ever developed. Now Eli Lilly's putting a great big facility there, but there's enough water for them, and they're the only one that had plans to really do it. But they're wiping out. Some farmers got over $1 million. I mean, $31 million. I'm sorry. One did.
Huh. I never knew there was a shortage of water under Boone County.
Evidently there was. And the sad thing was the guy that was the Indiana Development Commission guy is a Sigma Chi. He's running for governor, but I don't think he'll make governor after all this publicity.
Tomorrow night, my son Stephen and I are going to see the Purdue Northwestern basketball game.
They're an interesting team to watch. I haven't seen them in person, but I would watch them on TV. But
Yeah, and Arizona's right there nipping at their heels.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, for
U of
number
A is
one,
good.
number two. Yeah.
Hey
There's
guys, let me introduce my son Nick. You know, get down so they can see you.
Yeah.
Hi, Nick.
you're still giving orders at his age.
Hi, Nick.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, nice to see
What
you.
was your year at Wake?
I was class of 1989, Delta Nu chapter.
Embryo.
Nick, we're sorry about
From all of us, thank you for taking care of George in the last few days.
Well,
We
Well,
appreciate it.
it's what brothers do, and thank you for the love and support you guys share for each other. It's just been, I've always been amazed that you guys have stayed in touch and gotten together so often over the years. It's, something that I envy, because my group doesn't do it quite nearly as much as you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're still doing it.
That's great. I mean, Dad had such a great time at the reunion back in September. I mean, he just had a ball. So I'm so glad that you guys had that opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Just hope we can keep doing it.
That's right. That's right. Well,
We're going to get your dad down to Naples, Florida, February 8th for a Delta Delta luncheon
oh, wow. That'd be
that we
great.
have every year. There'll be about 50 brothers there. 2 significant SIG presentations.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, my sister Libby is here too. So let me
Oh, good.
let her share the screen.
Here's Libby.
Hi, Libby.
You got me eating a cookie.
Is this the one that used to be a flight attendant?
Yep. I used to be a flight attendant. That's right.
What airline?
I can remember
Delta?
me being with
Delta.
George right after 9/11, and he said she'll never fly again.
So Libby, how
Pretty much.
how do you characterize your experience doing that?
Well, I miss the flexibility of the travel because I used to fly overseas all the time and that was wonderful. And now I don't get to fly overseas at all. So it was an experience, I'll just say. It was an adventure and an experience. I don't miss the job, I just miss the benefits. If that makes sense.
How many years did you fly?
A little over 11, about 11 and a half.
Okay.
So, you know,
So you were in a fairly senior position at that point.
normally, yes, but because right after they hired me, they didn't hire for 6 years. So, and when something's built on seniority, that's a problem. So I didn't really have as much as I should have, but it was good. It was a nice little chapter.
Mhm.
Good.
So,
Ever have any interesting incidents in the air?
wow.
Any
Let's see.
Karens, you mean?
You're taking me back. Not real, nothing noteworthy, just, some funny things here and there, nothing awful on the airplane as far as, bad.
That was before cell phones.
True. Yeah, it was nothing out of the ordinary. Not that I could think of right now, but because you asked, I'll think of it. And if I think of something, I'll tell my dad to fill you guys in.
Okay,
Well,
You'll
I
have
feel
to
like with
write it.
11, I feel like with 11 years, something must have happened.
Libby, you'll have to
Yeah,
write it
I
down
must have
because
followed
if you don't write it down, George won't remember
I
to
know.
tell us.
That's true.
I must
What-
have
what
flown
was
with you
your
because I had a
favorite-
million miles on Delta.
What was your
Probably-
favorite destination in the world?
Well, I'd probably say I have so many favorites in Europe. I was a big European traveler, which I loved. But I think my favorite trip was a trip to Vienna and Budapest. And we had a 3-day trip there, and I was with a roommate of mine who was from there, and we stayed with his family on their farm, and it was just a really neat trip. So I got to experience Vienna and then the country of Hungary, the countryside. It was really neat. So I think that would be my favorite.
You didn't know you were going to get a test when you came on now, did you?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway,
I was in Budapest.
I was a
40 years
farmer
ago.
for a long time, so I understand how you like farms.
oh my gosh. Well, I went out to I remember I didn't speak Hungarian at all. And he was a fluent Hungarian speaker. He was a Hungarian speaker on the airplane, and he was from there, and all of his family lived there. And so I just sat there and they fed me and I ate everything. And then in the middle of the night, I remember having to use I needed to use the bathroom. I didn't know where it was. It was outside.
Oh,
And I remember in the middle of the night having to go out to the bathroom and being chased by chickens and scared. I couldn't get back into the house. I didn't know how to use and I didn't want to wake anybody. So it was an experience.
You sleep with the chickens.
Exactly. Yep. And I was telling them to stop, but I realized they probably didn't understand me because they didn't understand English. So anyway, it was a mess. I probably looked funny.
That's what makes life great.
Yep. Anyway. Well,
Thank you, honey.
yeah. Now next time you guys all get to Purdue, you'll see my daughter there because she's the one who's a freshman, Charlotte. So
Well, that's good. Great.
yeah.
she's a
What's she
talented
going
young
to major in?
woman.
hmm?
She is
What's
a
she-
talented young lady.
Oh, well, thank you. She's making
Libby,
us proud. She's working hard.
what's she going to major in?
Engineering.
Engineering. Yep. she's right now thinking biomedical with a data science minor, but I'm not sure. I have no idea what any of that means.
I think biomedical is part of the ag school. Seriously,
Is it? Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
would
They
be
have a new
surprised.
building. Remember when we had our tour, they showed us that brand new biomedical engineering. It was amazing. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's on the ag campus too.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That's right.
Well,
All
certainly,
right, Pete.
certainly don't look to us to explain any of that.
No, well, good. Both my husband and I just raise our hands up and we just say, okay, you tell us. I don't know. I know nothing. So
By the way, Libby's husband, Josh, was the counsel at the SIG chapter at Beloit College in Wisconsin.
Oh,
Wow.
So the boy Tom and Nick are both SIGs, and then my son-in-law Josh Kirshner is also a Sigma Chi.
wow.
Nice.
Friends in the family.
Lori Stetson's brother went to Beloit,
Oh yeah,
and he was the wrestling coach at Culver Military Academy for about 40 years. I don't know if he still is in Indiana or not.
wow, that's a name I haven't. Lori Stetson, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, well, I need to go take off and do some yard work. I have about an hour left of sunshine on a 50-degree day before it turns cold again. So I have to get some outdoor Christmas decorations up. So I'm going to go take off and do that. But
Okay, honey.
it was nice chatting with you guys.
Nice
good to see you.
You
Hey,
keep this
good
guy in
chatting
line.
with you.
Keep him in check here. Bye,
That's
guys.
that's your job now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Thank you, honey.
All right. I just have one thing. I just want to make sure that there are no non-Sigma Chi's here and to make sure there are no interlopers. So I need you all to identify the 3 of the founders of Sigma Chi. Test your memory.
Among the 6 of us, we ought to be able to come up with at least 1 or 2. How about Runkle for an opener?
Runkle, Cooper, and
Lockhart. Or no, not Lockhart.
Lockwood.
Lockwood.
William Lewis Lockwood. That's right.
Yes. How about the
Benjamin
others?
Hyatt Runkle.
Jordan, Isaac Jordan,
Jordan.
Isaac M. Jordan. That's right.
Jordan Standard.
The Jordan Standard. that's right.
Scobie one,
Yep. Franklin
Scobie. He was the non-Deke.
Okay.
Six were Dekes, and
Yep.
Scobie was not the Deke, but he was one of the 7 founders.
All right. Very good. Well, you guys have passed
Thanks, Nick.
and refreshed my memory too.
And if you stick around long enough, we'll sing a song for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
he does.
Hey,
We
Nick,
never
Nick.
sang as much as you guys did. I
Hey,
love
Nick,
Yeah.
before you go, just to show you our long-term memory, the soliloquy from Hamlet. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the path to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a passing shadow that struts and frets its way across the stage and then is heard no more. It is like a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. So
There's a little emblem that I just happen to have at hand.
There you go.
yeah.
There's a little something I'm drinking coffee from right now.
Very good.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, my brothers having been found worthy, I will bid you farewell.
We have retained the spirit of youth.
Yes.
Than's, honey.
All right.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, guys.
You're never too old to act like a kid again.
That's
right.
Great family, George.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What Libby didn't tell you was that she it was really funny. When she was a senior at Wake Forest, she was a French language and French literature major, and had a semester abroad at Dijon at the University of Burgundy. So
Wow.
I said I was with her at spring break before graduation. I said, "Have you talked to the office about job placement, the placement office?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, what are you going to do?" And she said, "Well, I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to teach, and I'm not going to work in an office." I said, "Well, that's a good deal." So I said, "Well, let me tell you, so you're not coming home either." So She ended up got a job at Delta, but as a senior French linguist. And all the years she was at Delta, she flew from New York, from JFK to Nice, France, or Paris,
Oh, wow.
and always had like 5 and 6 day layovers. She was all over Europe, but she was a senior linguist on those flights for
Nice.
French. And so she didn't tell you that, but that was her gig. So it was pretty neat. She
Yeah.
went everywhere.
Then you remember Ty Schmedick?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, you remember probably that Ty spoke 5 or 7. I've forgotten. I'll give her credit for 5 languages. And she went with TW right out of school and jumped instantly to international flights because she was fluent in several tongues. And the last I had heard of her, she was in Miami and had a really, really interesting career. And she flew for a long time.
She lived in Seattle for a while too, didn't she?
I think she lived several places. Yeah, I
Yeah.
lost track of her for many, many years. Didn't know she was,
You remember her brother Don?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, had a brother.
not particularly. No, I knew Ty, but I didn't know her.
I ran into Ty at Ponchos and Cisco's in Manhattan Beach when we were down at Stern's place, and she was down there with Margot Chevalier, who also went to our Shortridge High School with us, and she was a flight attendant for United. Margot was, and I knew Ty was, but I didn't know what airline she was with. I assumed she was with United, but you're saying she was with TWA. But
TWA, as I
Yeah.
remember.
anyway, but she was a beauty. She was really, really attractive and a very sharp gal. Both of them were beauties, actually.
Ty was Pi-Fi, wasn't she?
Yes.
Ty was.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Thompson dated her, I think. He said he did. He's not here to defend himself, though.
Yeah, he's not here to defend it. She did date some SIGs, and I don't remember who, so we'll give Harry credit for that.
Libby.
Why?
Well,
Where are you going?
Just back to her.
I'm just gonna come, and then when you're done, you can just come over whenever you want,
Yeah.
or
Oh, okay.
or not.
That was a pretty good class in the Pi House.
Ernie, when are you going to get any information going on the
Come over.
February meeting? I think you've already put out something, but
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Is that
come on
okay?
over.
Yeah, there something came out today that just said, you know, the luncheon's February 8th, called at Strand and Naples, and it'll start at 11:30. And anyone who wants to play golf, Eric has complimentary golf for anybody that wants to play golf.
And stuff tomorrow.
And afterwards, but
It'll be dark.
Well, I can pick him up and bring.
it's Thursday, February 8th.
Is that easy for you to do?
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I can swing by storage on the way.
Do you need Nick's help?
No,
It's always, well, you've been there before,
it's not very big.
Who, me?
haven't you?
I think I was always there, except last year.
Yeah, you weren't last year. That's what I remembered. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
But you've been at the club at the Strand too, haven't you?
yes, I have.
Yeah.
Frankly, one of the big inhibitors of that is it is so god awful expensive at the snowbird season to find a place to stay in Naples.
Yeah, I'll try to line something up that's within reason.
Are you making arrangements for us, Bernie?
I'll try to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Something that we don't have to mortgage the South 40 for.
Right.
I thought everything was free in Florida. That's what your governor says. They
A
don't
lot
have-
less expensive than California.
Yeah. Hey, aren't Newsom and DeSantis going at it this evening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Anybody know what time and what stations?
I think it's on Fox at 9.
It's
Yeah.
on Fox
On Fox.
I think it's with Hannity and on Fox.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
on
is, but
Fox Business and cable.
I don't believe politicians, so I probably won't watch it.
Okay, so it's on cable though, not
It's on
Okay.
cable. Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Probably just on Fox,
yeah.
on the normal Hannity show, which I think comes on at 8 o'clock Central.
It's a Fox News.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on it, I think 8 o'clock, or is it 9 o'clock Central? I don't know.
No, it'd be 8 o'clock Central, probably, and 9 o'clock.
No,
Eastern.
Jesse Waters is on after Laura Ingalls. Let's see. No, Jesse would be on at 6. Laura
Jesse's on, and then Laura Ingram.
8
and then-
o'clock. Kennedy will be on at 8 o'clock Central. 9 o'clock Eastern.
Well, since
You
I'm
Mountain or Pacific time,
over
John?
the air now, it's more restrictive than it used to be. You know, when I had Dish, I could get everybody, but I
Yeah.
dropped that.
Purdue's been fun to watch play basketball.
Sure have been.
Perhaps.
Oh,
Some of those games have been close.
You know, I watched
Classic games.
North Carolina, Tennessee last night. And when, you know, I went to the Michigan State Tennessee game, and Tennessee really looked strong, and they looked pretty good against Purdue, actually.
Yes.
And North Carolina just blew them out of the water by like 30 points. It was incredible.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it was a
checked
real
in on that
blowout.
game, but I checked in on that game 3 or 4 times, and I was really surprised that Tennessee wasn't doing better.
Yeah. Well, everybody has their days, I guess.
Can Tennessee have one player that's a real star?
They have one white kid, and he's from Colorado, some nondescript little town in Colorado that I've never heard of, and he's really tall and skinny white kid, and he's deadly. His shooting, he just never misses.
Yeah, I've heard about him.
But he's the only white kid on the team, I think,
Huh.
and he's a starter, of course.
Yeah. Well, 15% of the population, but 90% of the NBA players.
Yeah,
So
NFL probably.
there's got to be a reason for that.
I've been
Well-
wondering about for years, the same, probably not quite as high in football, but in the NFL, but a high percentage there as well. So the big question is it genetics? Is it motivation? Is it training? Is it headset? What is it?
Got to be genetics. I think.
Well, physical ability and genetics and
You know, for generations, the males were hunting animals that were fast. I mean, you look at the marathon, from Kenya,
Yeah.
marathon winners. Well, track stars are usually black. Yeah,
And that's male and female.
male and female. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at if you look at SATs or at IQs, that sort of thing, descendants of Europeans do better. And they had a better educational system through the centuries. So
I guess that started with Jesse Owens, huh?
Pardon?
I guess that started with Jesse Owens, huh?
Well, even before that, probably. I mean, it couldn't start before that because they wouldn't let blacks compete.
yeah.
Well, and think about the Negro baseball leagues too. They'd been running for years.
Yeah. I saw Satchel Paige pitch for the Indianapolis Indians or against the Indianapolis. I don't know, but I saw Satchel Paige.
Never
I saw him pitch for the Browns.
never look back. You never know who's gaining on you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for the good of the order, anything else?
Well, I want to say that when we stopped at the reunion, when the reunion was over, Hammy and I were going to the airport. We made a nice trip to Pete Clark's house and spent some time with him. And then I'm very glad to say that we stopped in and saw George Morton. So that I'm very glad that I had a chance to see him before he's gone.
That's great.
yeah.
I was with him about an hour and a half before he passed away.
Really.
Now, it was a one-way conversation because he was on morphine and stuff in the hospice. But they say that they can hear and still comprehend, and Jane was the same way. But it was very comforting. appreciated by the family. My daughter and I were at the funeral dinner that night when he was buried, and
Well,
I
George,
said I knew George longer than anybody in the room,
George, I hope you feel
which
the
was a true
warmth.
statement. And his daughter says, "I don't know about that." I said, "I remember when you were born."
George, I hope you feel the warmth and the love and the comradeship that we all share with you. You know, it's a tough time in life.
Yeah.
We are at that phase in our lives where these things are going to happen
Yeah.
more and
Right.
more.
It's
And
just a
it's
club. It's just a club you don't want to join, George, but
No,
yeah, it happens. And
Yeah.
Well,
I'm-
thank you. I
I'm-
thank you guys.
I'm
You guys
there.
have always been like real brothers to me. And I really thank you. I appreciate that. And, like Nick said, Nick and Tom both, and Josh, they all marvel at the fact that we still communicate every month and get together, and that we used to get together with spouses once a year, and that they just can't get over that, and then they're really jealous. They said we need to do that, but they didn't have the leadership, I guess, to make it happen. But whatever. Anyway, I appreciate it a lot, and I look forward to seeing the Florida crew when I get down there, and
Great.
hopefully, and we'll come on over down to Naples. February the 8th, is it?
Yep.
Okay. And
I'll send you more information.
yeah, we'll talk about it, sure. And then Kurt and Bob, look forward to seeing you. And Pete, if you want to ride down with us or something, let me know. I've got room between the dog and me. There's just two of us in this SUV. So
I'm not a Florida person.
okay.
I don't travel well.
Okay, I got it. Well, we'll miss you.
I'm kind of stuck in the cave, but I enjoy it.
Well, hey, take it while you can. Get it while you can.
You know, I've got this feature that probably you do too, called OneDrive on the computer. And I don't know how it works, but it delves back into the collection of photographs that I've got stored away, and it will bring back photographs from that particular date for years and years and years in the background. And it's amazing how many pop up from Purdue days. I don't know how they got here because those were on film camera, but there are enough of them that all of a sudden there's one great one with me and June and George. You're prominent in the photograph, and Bernie, and boy, these memories just keep flooding back. It's just wonderful.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I have that feature too, but I haven't gotten any Purdue pictures, but I'll have to keep looking, I guess.
Okay, brothers. Good to be with you, and let's gather again in 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep,
Okay.
Bernie, thank you
Sounds
again.
great.
Thank
Yeah.
you again for putting
Merry
this-
Christmas to all. God bless you, George.
Thank you. Thank you so much, fellas.
God
We'll
bless.
see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.